Okay, let's do this again, shall we? Okay, luckily I did not actually get very far in the game. The fields of battle are filled with suffering and despair. On them are a clash of souls, souls brought to conflict by the corrupt powers that rule over them. I was transporting a client in my carriage that evening. We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. I was worried that something was amiss, so I walked into the building to see what the commotion was. There I saw the defendant. She was lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights, and she was stabbing the victim with her magical sword.
Objection!
Mr. Rudolph, you testified that you saw my client murdering the victim. And you supposedly saw her casting magic while do so. Yes, I could never forget such a grisly sight. That moment was burned into my memory. I see. Well, funny that you say that. How so? Because your entire testimony was a complete lie. A little more jazzy than I expect, but still a bop. What?
Objection!
Are you accusing the witness of perjury? Surely you know that such accusations can't be made lightly, Mr. Cuthbert. Shit, what did I just do? My accusation is far from baseless, Steelwind. Think about the state of the crime scene at the time of the murder. The witness couldn't have seen anything, much less a homicide. He knows something. But on this battlefield, there are still a few people who carry the ideals of justice within their hearts. But you have to wonder sometimes, are these ideals truly just? Or are they simply lies fed to us by our elders? Damn it. Damn it! Flintheart, you fool! Why couldn't you have just listened to me? Rudolph, I require your assistance. Yes, sir? By the scale, Lord, what did you... You killed him! Alert the town guard. Tell them that you saw his daughter fleeing the scene. I'm sure their neighbors heard them arguing with each other. They'll immediately suspect her. At once, sir. Episode 1, The Cold-Hearted Aristocrat. earlier that day. Ugh. You feel yourself slowly succumbing to unbearable pain. You don't think you'll be able to survive this much longer. Are you sure you're okay, Cuthbert? Are you sure you're okay, Cuthbert? Okay, back to it. I had to do something in Discord real quick. You look like you're about to pass out. Don't worry about me, Miss Timora, I'm fine. You've been riding in this carriage for days. You're definitely not fine. With each bump in the road, you feel yourself becoming more and more nauseous. It's taking every ounce of willpower just to hold down your lunch. I'm perfectly fine. If you say so. You feel the carriage drive over a large bump in the road. You can feel and hear your stomach retching in protest. That stew you ate for lunch doesn't taste nearly as good the second time. On second thought, that's better. You take a deep breath of fresh air. It's the first breath you've taken today that hasn't threatened to come back out. Sorry about this. I didn't expect the roads in this town to be this uneven. I suppose they don't get a lot of traffic here. You've been on the road with your mentor for days. Together you've been searching for a man named Flintheart McCoy. Supposedly, he's been a voice of dissidence against King Olivier for the last few decades. You have no idea what kind of business Miss Timora would have with him. But you know better than to ask questions about her affairs. Hello travelers, welcome to Cornhaven. I'm once again going with a Terminator accent on this one. I tried a Scottish and failed. A local merchant steps out from one of the nearby shops. He has a wide smile on his face and he approaches your carriage with the enthusiasm of a starving vulture. Would a pair of dignified individuals such as yourselves care for a refreshing drink? Those clothes, they must be from the city. He certainly has a friendly expression, but his thoughts seem very analytical. Well, I don't need a drink, but... Miss Timora glances at you and your stomach rumbles in agreement. Ah, of course. I have just the thing for an upset stomach. With a carriage like that, I bet I could fleece them for a lot. His thoughts and emotions are laid bare through your eye of horrors. But the merchant's expression doesn't betray a hint of what he's truly thinking. You wonder if his false smile could get any bigger. At this rate, he might dislocate his jaw. How about 2 flasks of apple juice for 50 silver pieces? 50 SP. You may find the price daunting, but this is organic and fresh made apple juice. It's just store-bought juice, but I bet they can't even tell the difference. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot an empty bottle of store-bought apple juice. It's resting on a table inside the merchant's shop. Store-bought apple juice has been added to your notes. Notes. Tyrion will make mental notes of notable clues he sees in the world. Those notes are instrumental to solving mysteries and progressing through the game. You can check these notes at any time by opening the toolbar in the top left of the screen. Trust me, it's worth the extra gold. Normally the price wouldn't matter that much to you, but you don't appreciate being treated like an easy mark. Arguments. You've started an argument with another character. During an argument, your opponent will make claims that you need to respond to. Responding correctly will lower your opponent's confidence. Responding incorrectly will lower your confidence. And once you run out of confidence, you will lose the argument. You need to elaborate. You said that this apple juice is organic, but where is it made? It's produced by the hard-working people of this town, of course. I only trade organic products. In a small town like ours, we only deal with locally sourced products. For certain claims, you need to present a piece of evidence to refute that claim. To proceed, present the piece of evidence that contradicts your opponent's claim. You say that, but I can see an empty bottle of store-bought juice inside your shop. Why would you have something like that if you only deal with organic products? Oh, how did that get there? Make no mistake. I only have that because I wanted to see how my products compare to that of the city. And let me tell you, that mass-produced slop doesn't even compare to my product. What an obvious lie. Honestly, I'm offering you a very good deal. This juice is worth far more than what I'm offering. Interpreting during arguments. For certain claims, you will need to look at your opponent's thoughts and emotions. Choose the correct response depending on the information seen. And now we were at the point where I got to during my first go at stream. Logic. Choose this option if your opponent's thought contradicts something in your notes. Intuition. Choose this option if your opponent's thought contradicts their claim. Empathy. Choose this option if your opponent's emotions contradict their claim. I only saw this stuff for 5 SP a flask. Use this against claims that contradict the displayed emotion. Use this against claims that contradict thoughts seen through the eye. Use this against claims that contradict a piece of evidence. So it's obvious those flasks are only worth 5 SP. Oh, wow, how did you... Well, it's clear you're a very old man. Right. I'm so thirsty. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot a child watching you from afar. Her eyes are fixed on the flasks of apple juice. That looks very gender neutral. How about 20 SP for 3 flasks? Oh, of course, sir. The Kingdom of Wyvern, established around 2,000 years ago by the 7 High Archmages. The kingdom is currently ruled by King Olivier de I need a sip of water. The kingdom is currently ruled by King Olivier de Wyvern and the mages of his nobility. The nobility will tell you that our marvelous kingdom is a land of prosperity and happiness, a land where its people share the wealth and succor provided by the kingdom's magic. Thank you. I haven't had anything like this in years. The child's passing thoughts tell you exactly how much succor this kingdom is sharing. I didn't know you had such an eye for rural economics. Well, I suppose I just have a good intuition for this sort of thing. Or did you use another kind of eye? Don't get me wrong, your so-called Eye of Horrors is an amazing gift. You should take every opportunity to hone it. But try to be more subtle next time. If I can see through you, others will be able to as well. Right. Anyways, I did some asking around while you were haggling. Supposedly, the McCoy Tavern should be north of here. If my tip is correct, this should be the place. Wait, this is the McCoy Tavern? With the state it's in, calling it a tavern is pretty generous. You find it hard to believe that this has a secret meeting place for dissidents. But now that you think about it, maybe that's the entire point. The tavern has been shut down for years. Nowadays, Flintheart just uses it to host his rallies. Although I do wonder how they've been keeping themselves afloat for this long. Hey, you lot, the McCoy Tavern is closed! A gruff man approaches your carriage as you step out of it. He's eyeing you and Miss Timora, a clear look of contempt on his face. I take it that you're Flintheart McCoy? I am, what of it? Sorry for not writing ahead of time, but I'm Ruby Timora. I wanted to speak with you. Ruby Timora? Wait, the Ruby Timora? Any animosity he initially had immediately vanishes. He lets out a laugh. It's as if he were meeting an old friend. Why didn't you say so? Come in! Come on in! You didn't expect someone like him to know about Miss Timora. But you suppose it makes sense, they both fight against the same enemy. Albeit in different ways. Sorry about the mess, we haven't exactly been... Well, anyways, what brings you here? I take it you didn't journey all this way to see my racket tavern? I'm here on behalf of a client. We have a proposition that you might be interested in. Is there any way we could talk more privately? Sure, the kitchen's empty. Wonderful. Tyrion, stay here while I speak with McCoy. What? Don't you need my help? There's no need for that. Like hell there's no need for that. If she's trying to make a deal with Flintheart, you can easily read his thoughts to help her. You desperately want to object, but she shoots you a stern look that causes you to freeze up. You slowly look away from her. Spend some time waiting alone in the tavern's dining area. Already been hours since Miss Timora and Flintheart went to talk in the kitchen. You can hear faint murmurs from behind the closed door, and you've been resisting the urge to eavesdrop. But even from here you can tell that their conversation is slowly becoming more frustrated. It looks like they're gonna be a while. Well, it's a good thing you always bring a chess set around. You bring out the small chessboard that you've carried around since you were a child. Chess can be played with one person, and you've always taken advantage of that. Checkmate. You win against yourself, this time as black. I've played 10 games already, and I've won 7 out of 10 times as black. Hello? Oh, she's cute. Statistically, white is more likely to win. Unbeknownst to you, you're thinking out loud. So why am I performing so much better when playing as black? Hello? You still don't notice it, you're verbalizing your thoughts just as fast as you're thinking them. Am I becoming overconfident as white because it has a first move advantage? Or perhaps that very advantage is affecting my choices and making me play in a suboptimal manner? If a personal quirk is making me play illogically, then I need to correct it. Hey! Ah, what? How long have you been standing there? It's about time you noticed me. I've been trying to get your attention for a while now. Oh, sorry. Do you know where my dad is? Your dad? Flintheart McCoy, I'm his daughter, Celeste. Mercenary transmutation, interesting. Celeste McCoy. Why are all the characters in this game so cute? Oh, Flintheart is speaking with my mentor right now. My mom? What? Oh, I wanted to show him something. Do you know when they'll be done? I don't know, they've been speaking in the kitchen for a while now. Flintheart and Miss Tamora's voice is getting louder and more frustrated, but Celeste doesn't seem to notice. Her eyes seem to be focused on your chessboard. This is chess, right? Are you playing against someone? Oh, I'm playing against myself, actually. Oh, that's... You feel a judgmental stare. Playing alone helps me develop new strategies. Plenty of professionals do it. Hey, I'm not Hey, I'm not the type to shame a man for playing with himself. Okay, I like this game. That's... and I like this girl. Relax, I'm just joking. Anyways, if you're still waiting for your mentor, do you want to play a game? Oh, you know how to play? Sure, I've read about this before. She's read about it? Ugh, this table is so dusty. Celeste takes a seat on the other side of the table. She tries to set up her side of the board but fumbles with the pieces. She stares at one of them, confused. How do I arrange these things again? A part of you regrets accepting a challenge, but it would be impolite to back out now. Here, I'll arrange them for you. Thanks. Checkmate. You defeat her in 2 moves. Wait, what already? How did you do that? You decide against telling her what the name of that maid was. I think I know, but I'm gonna look it up anyway. Wasn't it the maid? Wasn't it the fool's maid? Yup, this is a fool's maid, alright. Rematch me, I want a do-over. Sure, why not? It's not as if you have anything better to do. Celeste's brow furrows as she tries to decide on her next move, but she hasn't realized that the game is already finished. Here, she moves the knight into a position to attack your queen. It should have stopped your assault on her king, but checkmate. A scholar's mate this time. Oh, it's the second quickest one. What? Come on, how do you keep doing that? You look at the closed door to the kitchen. Flintheart and Miss Tamora's discussion is becoming louder. It doesn't sound like they'll be done anytime soon. Again, I'll definitely beat you this time. For someone who had clearly never played before, she's quickly improving with each game. It's impressive. She's observing your strategies and adapting them to her playstyle. With the way she's playing now, she could even defeat a nationally ranked noble. Checkmate. But even so, you've been playing this game for a lot longer than she has. How are you always one step ahead of me? It's like you're reading my mind. As if you'd even need to. Just one more game, I'll get you this time. Hello, Cuthbert. Miss Tamora emerges from the kitchen with Flintheart. They both look mentally exhausted. It looks like negotiations didn't go well. Hi, Dad. Oh, hello, sweetie. Flintheart looks irritated, but as soon as he sees Celeste, he quickly hides it behind a smile. You wonder what their discussion was about. What's this, some kind of game? Miss Tamora glances at pieces on the board. Don't feel too bad about losing to him, he's nationally ranked. Oh, you're a professional, is that why you're wearing a suit? No, chess is just a hobby, I'm actually a defense attorney. An attorney? Speaking of which, we should probably be on our way. Aye, sorry for refusing you after you came all this way. I should have gone with Scottish for this one. I really respect what you're doing, but I don't want anything to do with your mage friend. You wonder what he meant by that. Was Miss Timora trying to introduce him to one of our clients? Anyways, it is getting late. If you leave now, you won't get back to the city until morning. She's right. This region is littered with bandits and brigands. You wouldn't want to run into them this late. I guess you have a point. We have plenty of empty rooms that you can stay in until morning. It's the least I can do after you came all this way. Well, if it's not too much trouble, we might as well stay here until tomorrow. The tavern's shut down, but we still have some sheets and blankets. I'll go get the rooms ready. Celeste and Flintheart leave the dining area to get your rooms ready. You're left in the dining room with Miss Timora. So I take it that negotiations didn't go well? No, I didn't expect him to be so stubborn. Honestly, I have no idea what that man has against mages. Well, there is one way to find out. Why are you being so secretive? If your business with Flintheart is related to our clients, I can help. It wasn't important, and your presence was not necessary. That's such an obvious lie, but he can't read a single thought from her mind. She's had years of practice hiding her thoughts from the eye of Horrors. Celeste enthusiastically came back downstairs. She seems to have noticed the tension between you and Miss Timora. Sorry to interrupt, but your rooms are ready now. Right. Thank you. An awkward silence hangs in the air as you and Miss Timora head upstairs. In the absence of a stay hydrated, but I'm just gonna drink on my own. You reach the upper hallway and see the two rooms that Celeste prepared for you. Miss Timora stops before entering her room. You were playing chess with Flintheart's daughter earlier. Was she any good? Not at first, but she got a lot better as we kept playing. Sorry for leaving you there for so long. I didn't expect a discussion to last that long. No, it's fine. Despite everything, I enjoy playing against her. I see. Well, I suppose you are at that age. No, it's not like that. It's just that outside of tournaments, I never really get to play against another player. And you only ever want to play shogi against me. Because shogi is clearly superior. It's complete anarchy is what it is. You just bring fallen pieces back to life like some kind of necromancer. It adds depth. Dropping adds a dimension of play that isn't present in chess. You sternly look at each other, your position's already made. After a few moments of silence, you both burst out laughing. I'm sorry if it looks like I don't trust you, I know you're just trying to help. But there are some things about my work that I can't tell you about just yet. But one day, I'll tell you everything. Right, I'm sorry for prying. I just want to show you I'm ready to be an attorney. And that looks like death flags. You are, I know you are. Rare praise from your mentor catches you off guard. Anyways, come get some rest. Anyways, get some rest. You should mentally prepare yourself for the journey tomorrow. Right. You completely forgot about the carriage ride back. You can already feel your stomach churning in protest. You lay in the bed that the McCoys prepared for you. And as you close your eyes, you slowly drift into a deep slumber. As this happens, you feel something invasive. Your mind drifts away and you feel yourself being pulled elsewhere. You find yourself in a surreal and unsettling landscape. You're fairly certain that you're dreaming right now, but some instinct in the back of your mind tells you that something is fundamentally wrong about this. Whoa. You see a woman in the far distance. She's staring directly at you. What presence? She's murmuring something, but you can't quite make it out. Is she trying to say something to you? Finally found you, Heavenspawn! You're jolted wide awake. You can't exactly remember what that woman said to you. But whatever her words were, they sent a piercing chill down your spine. Heavenspawn, what? Your breath is heavy and your heart is beating at 100 miles per hour. Calm down, it was just a dream. At least that's what you tell yourself. Please, just let me explain. I don't want to hear it. You hear the voices of Celeste and Flintheart ring out from downstairs. It must be extremely late. What could they possibly be arguing about at this hour? I want you out of my house! Out! A dead silence lingers in the air before you hear someone rush out of the tavern. Whoever left slams the door behind them. What was that all about? It's none of your business. You've only met those two today. It would probably be best not to get involved in their affairs. And as you tell yourself that, a brief image of Celeste's smile appears in your mind. Damn it. You slowly make your way out of your room. But the hallway is nearly pitch black. You can barely see a few inches ahead of you. You have to watch your step to avoid tripping. You run into Flintheart, who is slowly walking up the stairs. Even this close, it's hard to see his expression in the darkness. Sorry, I just heard. Right, I forgot you two were. His words trail off. Is everything okay? He's saddened. I don't know what that emotion actually is. Fearful? Sorry, I'm just going to... You awkwardly shimmy past Flintheart to head down the stairs. He doesn't move out of your way. It's clear his mind is elsewhere. You arrive at the dining room, but you don't see Celeste anywhere. Honestly, though, it's hard to tell with how dark the room is. Celeste, are you still here? You don't receive an answer. You remember hearing someone slam the front door earlier. Your eyes are drawn to the tavern entrance. Celeste? No answer. Celeste, where are you? Ugh. The merchant you spoke with before steps out from his shop holding a lantern. He appears to be irritated by all the noise you've been making. Oh, you're that kid from before. Do you have any idea what time it is? This isn't the city, you can't just make a bunch of noise like this. Right, sorry, I was just looking for Celeste. Who? Celeste McCoy, she's Flynn's daughter. The merchant's expression becomes a little colder. Do you know them? What do you want with that bastard? That damn mage. What? What? Those two probably walk out half the streets with all their yelling. I don't need you keeping us up, though. If I hear any more noise, I'm going to call the town guard. Before you can get a word in, the merchant walks back into his home in a huff. You look around, but you still don't see any sign of Celeste. You decide to continue searching. I can't believe I said those things to her. She'll never forgive me for this.
I see your temper is as short as ever, Flynnheart.
You!
Honestly, how do you live in this darkness? Look, Tom.
What are you doing in here? And how dare you bring that witchcraft into my home?
You've been busy lately. The little rallies have gained quite a lot of support. Too much support for my family's liking.
And what, you came all this way to convince me to stop?
Have my word. If you stop spreading dissidence, no harm will come to you or your family.
Ha! Your word is as good as the dirt you lick off King Olivier's boots. As if I'd ever trust the words of a murderer like you.
Flynnheart, please. Someone you once called a friend. I'm only going to ask you one time.
Friend? I'll be dead in the ground before I ever call the likes of you a friend. Get out of my house. I don't have time for your nonsense.
Unfortunately, I don't think you'll have much time for anything.
Ah!
Damn it. Damn it. Flynnheart, you fool. Why couldn't you have just listened to me? Rudolph, I require your assistance.
Yes, sir? By the Scaled Lord, what did you... You killed him!
Alert the town guard. Tell them that he saw his daughter fleeing the scene. I'm sure their neighbors heard them arguing with each other. They'll immediately suspect her.
At once, sir.
You've been searching for Celeste for a while. How long have you been outside? 2 hours? 3? However long it's been, it's clearly taking a toll on you. Where is she?
What am I going to do now?
You hear a faint voice, could it be?
Oh!
As you appear behind an old tree, you finally find her. She looks just as tired as you are, probably even more so. Her eyes are puffy and red, but she's doing her best to hide it with a smile.
I've been looking all over for you. Sorry. I'm guessing we woke you up?
Yeah. Is everything okay?
It's nothing, it was just an argument.
From the way she reacted, this is clearly not common. You suppose that it's none of your business, you decide not to pry further.
Have you been looking for me all this time?
I have.
Well, thank you. But I'm okay now. You should head back.
What about you?
I think I'm going to stay out a little longer.
You know that you should mind your own business, but I'm sure whatever happened between you two, it's nothing you can't talk out. It doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes Miss Timora and I get into fights too. No matter what happens, we were always able to talk through it. Sorry, I know it's none of my business, but
No, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Ah.
You're right, let's go back.
What? You arrive back at the McCoy Tavern, but it's now surrounded by several carriages and knights clad in plate armor. Is that the Inquisition?
What?
The Arcane Inquisition. They're an order of knights that investigate crimes committed using magic. As you say the word crimes, you and Celeste share a glance and come to the same realization. Both of you rush towards the tavern, but Celeste outpaces you by a large margin.
What? No! No!
She reaches the tavern before you, and before anyone can stop her, she takes a look inside the inn. Whatever she saw makes her cry out in anguish. She drops to the ground in tears. There she is! Damn! Celeste McCoy! By the authority of the Wyvern Guard Crown, I'm placing you under arrest. Upon seeing Celeste, one of the knights steps forward and grabs her. Surprisingly, she's able to break free from his grip and tries to push further into the tavern. Noticing the commotion, 3 other knights rush to grab her and begin dragging her away. She kicks and screams against them, desperately trying to break free. Even between the 3 knights, it's taking all of their strength to subdue her. What are you doing to her? What's going on here? Tyrion! Miss Timora approaches you. You breathe a small sigh of relief when you see that she's okay.
Miss Timora!
Blah! I should have known that he was one of yours. Just stay out of your way.
Miss Timora, what's going on? Why is the Inquisition here? I'm surprised myself, but from what I understand, Flynard McCoy has been murdered.
Murdered? Yes, please, and I will override that because that is the save file from when I first tried this game, from back in October. You follow the Inquisition back to the city where Celeste is being detained. According to Miss Timora, Celeste was the prime suspect in Flintheart's murder. And due to the supposed nature of the crime, her case would be pushed to trial immediately. But many elements of the situation still don't make sense. The Inquisition only investigates crimes committed using magic. So why is Celeste a prime suspect? Could she be a mage? This is ridiculous. She has a right to speak to an attorney. Anyways, you find yourself met with another hurdle, a very frustrating one. And at this point, I'm going to leave the stream off here because I will be right back. I just need to use the bathroom real quick. Okay, I'm back. Anyways, you find yourself met with another hurdle. A very frustrating one. Yeah? Well, we can't let you see her until she's been processed. Her trial is in an hour. How has she not been processed yet? I don't know what to tell you, kid. I wish I could help. You don't need to use the eye to know that's the complete lie. So, you're really planning on defending her? Do you know if she can even afford a lawyer? I just can't stand here and do nothing. You saw them, didn't you? There's no way she would murder her father like that. I know that look. I was saving this for a special occasion, but... What? A magical attorney's runestone. A magical runestone that allows you to take pictures of crime scenes and write notes telepathically. Every attorney has one. It's almost like a badge for them. I love that the attorney's badge actually has a use in this. This is an attorney's runestone? If you're going to defend her, you're going to need one. You begin to tear up. You've wanted one of those ever since you were a child. Basically a badge of honor for attorneys. Can you be any more blatant?
Don't cry, Cuthbert.
Sorry.
Anyways, keep one thing in mind. If you try to defend her, the Inquisition isn't going to fight you fairly. Our court system only exists to create the illusion of justice. They hate people like us, and they'll do everything in their power to sabotage you.
Damn it, you knew that they tried to get in your way, but you didn't expect them to do it this blatantly. Ugh, what's with all this noise? You're that knight from the tavern. That's Commander Orem White to you, kid. Huh, I had a feeling Timora would be sniffing around this case. But I didn't expect her to send a kid to do her dirty work.
Commander, he says that he wants to talk to the mage.
And she's got a right to an attorney, doesn't she?
Well, she hasn't been processed. Commander White looks confused for a moment.
The hell kind of bullshit are you trying to pull? Let him through, you idiot!
Yes, sir! The knight leads you through the halls of the dungeon.
For something built in the capital, it looks extremely old and decrepit. You pick up the negative emotions of the prisoners nearby. It's a heavy and almost crushing feeling. You've always had to avoid crowded places because of how sensitive you are to people's thoughts. You've never felt this much concentrated despair before.
Oh, it's you!
Celeste is lying down on the cold floor of one of the dungeon cells. But she immediately gets up as soon as she... This is another she sells seashells thing, isn't it? As soon as she sees you. What are you doing here? Miss Timora told me about what happened to your father. I'm so sorry.
I just don't understand. I don't understand any of this. Why would someone do this? Why are they blaming me for it?
I'm not sure about the details, but it's clear that there were elements of magic involved in what happened. Since they arrested you based on that evidence, I can only conclude one thing. Celeste, you're a mage, aren't you? There's no sense in hiding it anymore. Yes, I am. Do you have noble blood? Of course not! Why would you say that? Sorry, but the ability to use magic is hereditary. Most mages tend to have some kind of noble blood. I honestly don't like thinking about that. I'm the daughter of Jolene and Flintheart McCoy. That's all I need to know about myself. It would probably be best not to push the matter further. Anyways, you were probably arrested because you're a mage. What? A crime was committed using magic, and you were the only mage around at the time. That's seriously the only reason. I only know how to cast one spell. The Arcane Inquisition doesn't care about the truth, they only care about closing their cases. Celeste, your case is being pushed to trial. You're going to be brought before a judge within the hour. What? No one told me anything! Damn it, they weren't even planning on telling her? If you'll have me, I'd like to be a defense counsel for the trial. Right, I forgot that you were an attorney. Would you really do that for me?
After everything I've seen them do, I can't just stand by and do nothing. But they're a part of the kingdom. Do we even have a chance? It's hopeless. Celeste, man, king, or god, I won't let them do anything to you. What? Sorry, it's just something I have a habit of saying. No, don't apologize. I don't know, does he have a crush on her or not? I really appreciate you doing this. It's clear the entire situation is bittersweet for her. And because of the Inquisition's delays, you haven't had any time to investigate the crime scene. You were confident before, but you begin to doubt whether or not you can really do this. Everything's happening so fast, it feels unreal. No, you have to do this. This is the exact reason why you became a lawyer. No matter what happens, you'll acquit Celeste. Okay, trial time. A courtroom. I'm in a real courtroom. What does this remind me of? I mean, aside from the obvious. Kazuma from Konosuba. That's what it reminds me of. Actually, entering the courtroom has taken a lot of wind out of your sails. You've never been here as an attorney before. You've only ever acted as Miss Tamora's assistant. The woman at the prosecutor's bench is staring at you. Miss Tamora mentioned her before you went to see Celeste. What was her name again? You think it was Arya Steelwind. You can feel the coldness of her glare burrowing into you. Why is she staring you down? Is she trying to intimidate you? Because it's working. Well, that's funny. Damn! Judge action shot! Court is now in session for the trial of Celeste McCoy. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Oh, the defense is also ready, Your Honor. He doesn't necessarily sound very ready. Regardless, let's begin the proceedings. Prosecutor Steelwind, please list the charges. I haven't really found my judge voice yet. The defendant is Celeste McCoy, a mercenary for hire and a registered mage. Wait, did she just say mercenary? Yeah, I had to take up a job after my family's tavern was shut down. Oh, right. That's not exactly the first occupation you choose. He's charged with second-degree murder and negligent misuse of the arcane arts. I see. So there was magic involved. Yes, the crime occurred within the McCoy Tavern, a local inn that shut down years ago. The locals reported hearing a loud commotion coming from within the building. Hours later, a carriage driver that was nearby checked the disturbance. It was then that he found the victim, the defendant's sword still impaling his dead body. The Inquisition has provided an autopsy report and a record of the sword. Autopsy report Flintheart McCoy. Died after being stabbed from behind with a magical blade. Fatal wound shows heavy traces of transmutation magic. Celeste sword. The alleged murder weapon. It's an ornately designed sword, but it has no magical properties. What was the defendant's relationship with the victim? I see that they share the same last name. The defendant is the victim's daughter, but not by blood. She was adopted into the family when she was an infant. Her birth parents are currently unknown. I see. What an unfortunate turn of events. To begin, the prosecution would like to call Commander Orem White to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Name's Orem White. I'm a commander of the Arcane Inquisition. Orem, could you please testify about the details of the Inquisition's investigation? Yeah. Ooh, I like that. We got a call late at night. Someone discovered a dead body inside the McCoy Tavern. When we arrived on the scene, we found Flintheart McCoy dead on the floor. The defendant's sword was still inside of him. We have several witnesses who heard the victim and defendant in a loud argument before the body was discovered. The argument must have turned ugly because the defendant killed the victim using her magic sword. Isn't that really incriminating? One of her possessions is the murder weapon. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. You open your mouth to respond, but nothing comes out. You can't think of anything to say, everything's blank. Mr. Cuthbert! Hey, what are you doing? This is the part where you say something, right? I'm sorry, I don't... Your anxiety is just getting worse and your breaths are becoming more and more desperate. Are you hyperventilating? What a disappointment. I was hoping to fight against the infamous Ruby Timora today, but it's clear you can't even hold a candle to her. Your Honor, it's clear that the defense has nothing to say against the prosecution's overwhelming evidence. Yep, this case is pretty open and shut. No, wait! This isn't what's supposed to happen. I'm sorry, Tyrion. I couldn't acquit Fry. She was found guilty. What? But that means... Are they going to execute her? No, not again. Are you seriously going to let that happen again? Tyrion! Celeste grabs your shoulders and shakes you out of your panic. You need to calm down. Her gaze is calm and focused despite the gravity of the situation, but she looks stern, not angry. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this to... Stop. Just listen to me. You know what to do, right? Just do it the same way you play chess. What? I don't know, you were just so calm and focused when we were playing before. No matter how close I got to beating you, you always knew how to stay calm and win. So just channel that feeling and look at the pieces. That doesn't make any sense, and yet... Take a moment to focus and let everything else disappear from the world. Every statement that he made, every word that came out of his mouth, each of those is a possible weakness that you can attack. Every bleak moment can be turned around. You just need to consider every angle. My apologies for the delay, Your Honor. The defense is ready to begin cross-examining the witness. Very well. Huh. There we go. Thank God that worked. I once again accidentally pressed that button. I could look at the profiles. It says nothing about... It actually says nothing about more details about the people. I could... Okay. It's N. The key is N. Carefully examine every statement he made and find something that contradicts the evidence in your notes.
Once you do that, present the contradicting evidence and prove that his testimony is false. Cross-examinations. You are cross-examining a witness. Carefully examine each statement they made and find the statement that contradicts a clue, a spell, or a profile in your notes. Once you identify the false statement, click the Present button and present the contradicting evidence to move forward. We got a call late at night. Someone discovered a dead body inside the McCoy Tavern. At what time exactly did you get this call, and who discovered the body? The call came in at 1:25 a.m. As for the witness who discovered it, he wanted to remain incognito. It's not unusual for a witness to stay anonymous. It's well within their right. But this would be a lot easier if you could question the witness directly. What happened when you arrived, Commander? When we arrived on the scene, we found Flintheart McCoy dead on the floor. The defendant's sword was still inside of him. How did you know that the sword was my client's? The sword is made out of some kind of special alloy. I think it was forged out of the country or something. It would be hard to mistake something like that. We also have several eyewitnesses who verified that the sword belonged to the defendant. She made no effort to hide it from the public. Quite the contrary, she was quite proud to show it off. But even if the sword belongs to my client, that doesn't necessarily mean that she was the one who stabbed him. Yeah, well, we have several witnesses who heard the victim and defendant in a loud argument before the body was discovered. How did they know it was my client and the victim that were arguing? You were there, weren't you? You had to have heard them too. Every witness we talked to knew it was them. Well... Your Honor, it's clear that the defense is playing devil's advocate. Even he should have recognized their voices. Well, they've got you there. The argument must have turned ugly because the defendant killed the victim using her magic sword. That's conjecture. Weren't there plenty of people around who could have committed the crime? That tavern has been closed for years. The defendant, the victim, and Ruby Timora were the only ones there before the body was discovered. Plus, the murder weapon definitely belonged to her. Well, it's a given that Miss Timora didn't do this, and it'll be hard to prove that someone else was at the crime scene, but you can't help but feel that there's something off about what he just said. You shouldn't have panicked so much before. His testimony is straightforward, but that will actually make this easier. Assuming that Miss McCoy is innocent, there has to be a flaw in his logic. You just need to compare every statement to each piece of evidence in your notes. Once you find the contradiction, present that piece of evidence to the contradicting statement. Okay, this one is fairly obvious. Because the sword is not magic.
Objection!
Commander White, you testified that the victim was killed using the defendant's magical sword. Am I correct? Yeah, it's pretty obvious when you look at the crime scene. I think I'd actually have to disagree with you on that. The defendant's sword couldn't possibly have been the murder weapon. What are you talking about, kid? The sword was inside his body. Of course, that's what killed him. That may be the case, but take a look at the autopsy report. It states that the fatal wound had heavy traces of magic. So how would a non-magical sword leave traces of magic on the body? What? To leave a trace like that, the wound would have had to have been created with something magical. My client's sword may look fancy and expensive, but it's entirely mundane. That doesn't make a lick of sense! If the sword didn't kill him, then why was it in the body? Yes, I find that quite strange as well. There's only one reasonable explanation, Your Honor. The wound was created magically, and someone shoved the sword into the wound afterward. The hell are you talking about? The defendant is a damned mage. She could have easily killed the victim using magic. That may be, Commander, but why would she kill the victim using magic and then stab him with her sword? She would just be incriminating herself. Oh, I like that the witness is standing under the judge. No, if anything, this series of events proves one thing. Someone used magic to kill the victim. And then they pushed my client's sword into the wound to frame her.
Objection!
Don't get ahead of yourself. What? Your Honor, the defense is trying to spin the facts in his favor. He claims that a third party committed the crime and used the sword to frame the defendant. But wouldn't the simpler explanation be this? Magic was being channeled through the sword at the time of death. That is what left the magical trace on the body. Commander, please tell the defense how the murder was committed using magic. What? Alright. I think I see where you're going with this. It's true that the sword itself isn't magical, but magic can still be channeled through it. That defendant over there, her spell compendium has a spell called Mage Blade. She must have used it on her sword before stabbing the victim. That spell is the reason why there were traces of transmutation magic on the wound. So her spell compendium contains a spell called Mage Blade. A spell compendium is a magical device that lists every spell a mage can cast. Luckily, Celeste's compendium only contains one spell. That means she can only cast that one spell. Celeste, do you have your spell compendium with you? No, I left it at the tavern after... Well, you know... If you can't look at the description for Mage Blade, you'll have to approach this another way. The commander's testimony was a lot vaguer this time. If you can press his statements, you might be able to find new information that you can use against him. Pressing statements. During cross-examinations, you can press statements to acquire more information. Sometimes, pressing the right statement can make the witness add a statement to their testimony. It's true that the sword itself isn't magical, but magic can still be channeled through it. Are you saying that my client used a spell and channeled it through her sword? Hi, Clam. Yup. Also, my problem at the moment is not that I need a good second monitor, it's that I don't have money to spend at the moment. Are you saying that my client used a spell and channeled it through her sword? There are a vast number of spells that operate like that. Spells from the School of Transmutation are almost always channeled through an object. I will, however, copy that. Yes, I will copy that monitor link. And put it in Discord. Oh, fuck off! God damn it! Well, anyway, if you come up with an actual good monitor, send it and I will have a look at it to see if when I do have money I will get it. God damn it. Anyway, back to the game. Spells from the School of Transmutation are almost always channeled through an object. That defendant over there? Her spell compendium has a spell called Mage Blade. Mage Blade? It's a transmutation spell that sharpens my sword. I usually use it when I need to cut through an enemy's plate armor. You didn't realize that she led such a lethal lifestyle. But anyways, wouldn't it be excessive for the defendant to use a spell like that on the victim? He wasn't wearing any kind of armor at the time of death. The victim and the defendant were in an intense argument. Perhaps she used the spell in a fit of rage. It was a crime of passion, after all. Oh, that theory is a little far-fetched. But you'll need hard evidence if you want to disprove it. She must have used it on her sword before stabbing the victim. But why would she go through to the trouble of doing that? Sword alone would have been enough to commit murder. Mages are always looking for an excuse to throw their power around. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Isn't that just your own personal bias, Commander? We don't need to understand why the defendant did what she did. The fact of the matter is that magic was present at the crime. Do you have any evidence of the contrary? You don't, yet. That spell is the reason why there were traces of transmutation magic on the wound. If she used a spell like that, wouldn't that have created traces of magic on the ground? How so? Well, let's say we follow the prosecution's theory. That would mean that the victim fell to the ground with a sword still inside him. At this point, Mage Blade would still be active, right? It would definitely leave a magical trace on the ground after making physical contact with it. We're already way ahead of you. We had our people scan the crime scene and we found traces of transmutation magic right under the body, just like you said. Oh. If you still don't believe me, I have a picture of the crime scene right here. Oh, why was this picture not brought to my attention? There was no need. This entire case is open and shut. You've seen pictures of the dead before, but it feels different now that the body is of someone you knew. Looks like there are traces of magic on the ground. But this shape is a little weird, isn't it? What was that just now? Well, this is the magical Ace Attorney. You could see it in his photo. She killed him with a stab from the front. I'm going to have a closer look at that picture. What did he notice with that? Huh? You can see it in his photo. She killed him with a stab from the front. Right, that photo does show that he was stabbed from the front. Why do you feel like there's something wrong with this picture? This would be a lot easier if he knew the parameters of Mageblade. But perhaps you can get him to add statements of evidence to his testimony. The only thing that you can do now is press his statements. I'll try it.
Objection!
Nope, that was wrong. Your Honor, it's clear that the witness's testimony is contradictory. And this piece of evidence proves it. I fail to see how that proves anything, Mr. Cooper. Oh, I guess you're right. Oh, I think I didn't get penalized. Let's try here. This is the next best thing. Yup, beehive magic.
Objection!
No. Have I pressed? I actually have no idea. Oh, died after being stabbed from behind.
Objection!
I'm so dumb. I'm sorry, Commander White, but it seems that you've presented another glaring contradiction. Oh yeah, and what's that? You said that my client stabbed the victim from the front, am I correct? Yeah, you can see it plain in that picture. So where's your contradiction? That's the thing, Commander. Your picture clearly shows the victim that was stabbed from the front, but the autopsy report that says that he died from a stab from behind. What?
Objection!
Orin, you were supposed to release everything that you had. Why wasn't this photo given to me? There was no need. There's no way it could have been anyone other than that damn mage. Murmurs ring out across the gallery. It didn't matter how corrupt the justice system was, they wouldn't be able to cover up such blatant incompetence. You have them right where you want them. Order, order in the court! Mr. Cuthbert, what is the meaning of this? I'll tell you what the meaning behind this is, Your Honor. As the autopsy report states, the victim died from a stab wound originating from his back. But this photo clearly shows that the sword entered from his front. This can only mean one thing. The sword was inserted into the wound after the fatal wound had already been created. That's crazy! Do you honestly expect us to believe that? Then please enlighten me, Commander White. How else would the sword be facing the opposite way? Do you think my client stabbed the victim with the hilt of her sword? I didn't think so. What really happened is clear. The real murderer stuck the sword through the victim's wound to implicate my client. But they made a careless mistake and stuck the sword through the opposite side.
Objection!
It appears that I underestimated you, Mr. Cuthbert. But you've still got ahead of yourself. Really, Miss Steelwind? I believe that Mr. Cuthbert has adequately cast doubt on your case. Did he now? Then let me ask you one question, Mr. Cuthbert. If your client didn't kill Flinthop McCoy, then who did? How should I know? I'm not mistaken, it's the commander's job to figure that out. Well, I'm well aware of the commander's incompetence, but one fact still stands. There was magic detected on the wound and the sword. Would you like for me to tell you how many mages live in that small town? You don't like where she's going with this? Just one. There's only one registered mage in that entire town. And that mage is your client. What? The defendant was also established to have been with the victim hours before his death. She was the last known person with him, and she was the only mage there. In addition to that, I have several witnesses who heard them arguing. How she murdered the victim is simply an unanswered question. I see. That certainly does change matters. I can't say that the prosecution's evidence is irrefutable, but there is still evidence that casts guilt upon the defendant. Damn it, you almost had them. There are far too many unanswered questions for me to pass a verdict. We will give law enforcement time to clear these unknowns. I suggest that they conduct the investigation more thoroughly this time. We will resume the trial tomorrow morning. That is the quickest state's attorney trial they have ever seen. Court is adjourned.
Hello, Cuthbert.
As you walk out of the courtroom with Celeste, you're greeted by Miss Timora. Miss Timora, you're here? You recall how you froze up during the first cross-examination. You feel a little ashamed that your mentor saw all of that? Well, at the end of the day, you were able to pull it together. And once you did that, you performed adequately. Oh, if I press right-click, I can... If I press right-click, I can make the text boxes disappear. Nice. Get a look at her hips. On that note, I wanted to give you this. Oh, the spell compendium! Well, Tyrion actually did almost call her mommy, I think, at one point when she wasn't there. Mage Blade. For the Arcane. Duration 1 minute. Concentration, yes. Oh, I like that. For the duration of this spell, the edges of this object, usually a blade, become unnaturally sharp, making it more effective at slashing through tough material. While under the effects of this spell, the object emits a yellow radiant glow. The target object must be no larger than a 5-foot cube. My spell compendium? I swiped it from the dining area before the Inquisition arrived. What do you mean my automod sucks ass?
Yeah, well, I'm not that experienced with D&D. I will, however, work on the auto mod after the stream. I thought it'd be best for you to have it. So this is your spell companion, and it only has one spell. Mageblade. This means that the prosecution has to prove that Celeste used that specific spell. It will restrict how they approach this case, which gives you an edge over them. But that prosecutor is really something else. You mean Prosecutor Steelwind? You can still remember her ripping glare. It gives you chills just thinking about it. You wouldn't even know it, but this was also her first trial. I'm sorry, what? Really? I thought that her inexperience would make for a good first opponent. But that girl, she's a natural in the courtroom. It makes me wonder why a Steelwind would choose to become an attorney in the first place. What do you mean? The Steelwinds are a powerful noble house. One of the noble families. They are one of the few who answer directly to the king. Most members of their house take high-ranking positions in the kingdom's military. Nice. So it's a bit strange that she chose to become a prosecutor despite that. Steelwind. I feel like I've heard it somewhere before. In any case, it's best that you focus on the trial. You have about a day until court resumes. Right, now that I have time, I'd like to ask you some questions, Celeste. Namely about that argument you had with your father. Oh. You see the bailiff staring daggers at Celeste. It looks like they're waiting to take her back to her cell. Whatever questions you have for her will have to wait. I should probably go. Celeste walks away while avoiding eye contact with you. Bringing up her argument with Flintheart may have struck a nerve. I'll also use this opportunity to investigate the crime scene. I wouldn't be surprised if the Inquisition missed something. You utterly embarrassed them today. Don't expect them to make the same mistake twice. Right, there are still a lot of things we don't know about. As much as I hate to admit it, your skills of deduction far surpass mine. I'm sorry, what? That was beginner level stuff. Admittedly, I did fumble the autopsy report thing, but that's still better than you can do? If anyone can figure out what really happened that night, it's you. Yes, please. You arrived back at the McCoy Tavern. Luckily for you, the Inquisition set up a teleportation circle for you to use. With that circle, you could magically teleport between the capital and the crime scene instantaneously. Oh, yeah, it would be bad to have to ride all the way out there in the carriage back and forth. Given that Tyrion already got sick when traveling here by carriage the first time. It's definitely miles better than having to travel by carriage. Oh, it's you. What are you doing here? Commander White takes notice of you as you enter the tavern. It looks like he's working with a team of knights to investigate the crime scene.
I'm the defense attorney in this case. I have just as much right to investigate this crime scene as you do. Yeah, whatever. Just remember, I got my eye on you, kid. Let's start by talking. I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about the case. Ha! As if I'd help the likes of you. I saw who your boss is and I know what you're up to. Which probably sent you here to con me. What? I'm just looking for some information. A likely story. He was cooperative before when he let you see Celeste. Why is he being so stubborn now? Is he angry that you embarrassed him in court today? In any case, you won't get anywhere at this rate. If you want his help, you'll need to persuade him through an argument. I might not be ready for this. It helps to prepare before starting an argument with someone. Talk to or present items to him to build a psychological profile for him. If you successfully fill the profile gauge, you will receive more information during any arguments. Okay, let's investigate here. There's a chalk outline of a person on the ground of the tavern. This is probably where Flintheart died. The outline matches the picture that the Inquisition took. Nothing seems out of place here. There's a broken bottle on the floor. It's shattered close to the chalk outline of the body. The label has the words Lotus Juice on it. I've never heard of that brand before. Must be foreign. The shattered remains of a glass bottle you find next to Flynn on McCoy's body. The label says the words Lotus Juice. It's a painting of a mage and there's some text on it. Zomala Daglian, a legendary practitioner of the arcane arts. He mysteriously disappeared one day. It's rumored that he was developing a formula for a new transmutation spell. However, he was reckless in casting the spell and Daglian quickly lost control of its magic. His body was never found. Many speculate that he didn't actually die during the accident, but if that's true, where did he end up? Huh, sounds like a cautionary tale against using magic. That might explain why Flintheart keeps it in his tavern. It's a painting of a man in a suit. There's some text on it. Adam Evelay, politician of the pedantic. I've heard of this guy. He's some kind of politician from one of the nations west of here. I heard he's pretty much a shoo-in to win whatever election they have going there. An election? Was Flintheart studying democracies for his little revolution? There's a modern-looking lamp mounted on the wall. It's a lamp powered by artificery. I didn't expect to find something this sophisticated in a town like this. Bah, artificery is just another form of magic. Actually, artificery draws from surrounding ley lines too. I didn't ask for a science lesson, kid. Anyways, look where artificery got these folks. The arcane power cell broke and they haven't had any power for weeks. Yep, nothing can beat good old oil and flame. Oh, power cell, nice. The McCoy is outfitted with several lamps powered by artificery. However, the arcane power cell has been broken for weeks and the lamps can't be turned on. Alright, good night, Clam. The Inquisition lit some candles, but there's a magical lamp right there. I wonder why they're not using those instead. Ah, because they're broken. Did I miss anything? Doesn't look like it. This place has been without power for about a week. I wonder if there's any information I can infer from that. They've been using candles to keep the place lit. This is exactly why you can't rely on magic. I wonder what lotus juice is. It's definitely not any drink that I've heard of. It must be some kind of imported brand. I've never seen a real spell compendium before. I'm still not exactly sure how they work. Well, spell compendiums are magical devices that display exactly which spells a mage can cast. You can probably guess, but the Inquisition uses these things all the time. Right, having that information is definitely a blessing for the defense and the prosecution. What do you think about this? I don't know what you're expecting me to say. I should report that bug. Not much to say about that. It'd be best to try something else. That mage's sword really is strange. It's almost a shame that we had to confiscate it. Is it really that abnormal? It's definitely not like any kind of sword I've seen. I wonder if it was forged in the Eastern Kingdoms. The autopsy report seems to be pretty detailed in some aspects and vague in others. Why is that? I'm not sure about the details, but the autopsy is performed by a mage who studies divination. Their magic gives us details about how someone dies, but there's always a few blind spots. Blind spots like what? Well, for one thing, if someone mucks around with the body after death, the report becomes muddled. Divination magic can tell what happened to a body, but not in what order and what times. Someone definitely stabbed Flintheart's body with Celeste's sword. If what he's saying is true, it will be that much harder to figure out what kind of weapon originally killed him. Present the badge! What do you think about this? Nothing. Well, the Inquisition. So what does the Arcane Inquisition do exactly? You're trying to pick a fight with me? No, I'm just genuinely curious. Well, I'm sure you already know, but us Inquisitors investigate crimes that involve magic. Do crimes like this happen often? Nah, maybe once in a blue moon. It makes sense. Most mages are in the nobility after all. Even if they're untouchable, they don't make a habit of getting into trouble with the law. You must have an easy job then. Heck, you got that right. The only reason we exist is to clean up the nobility's messes. He doesn't seem that happy about that. Commander White, you seem to speak negatively about my client's magic. Do you have a personal grudge? You're damn right I do. Wow, he didn't even try to deny it. And if you had any sense, you would too. All a mage has to do is wave their hands and say some magic nonsense. Then you suddenly have a dead body on the ground. And don't get me started on mage blight. If some noble uses their magic too much, they end up snapping and going on a rampage. I don't know if this is going too far, but why join the Inquisition if you hate mages so much? Considering the fact that my job is to sweep the nobility's crimes under the rug. Sorry, continue it. Nope, you have the right of it. Anytime a noble is involved in a case, I'm ordered to look the other way. You don't seem very happy to do that. Why would you stay in this line of work? Because every once in a while I'm allowed to put a criminal mage behind bars. We can't go after the nobles, but any other mage is fair game. Or at least they were before your boss showed up. Your boss? Does he have something against Miss Timora? I have to ask, did something happen between you and Miss Timora? Ha, Miss Timora. What are you, a lackey or something? No, actually she's my guardian. Ah, so she actually is his mom. Oh, I didn't know she had a... Look, I don't know what the deal is between you two. But no good will ever come from associating with her. It's just about the rumors, isn't it? Throughout the years, there have been several insidious rumors surrounding Miss Timora. She's been accused of forgery, blackmail, and all manner of illegal activities. Clearly misinformation spread by the nobility to discredit her. She's always been fine with it, but you can't help but get angry on her behalf. It's more than just rumors, I've seen it for myself. That woman is evil, kid. She defends mages who don't have the protection of the nobility. She's not evil, she's a hero. Yeah, whatever. Orin White's psychological profile is complete. Okay, let's start that argument. Commander White seems unusually hostile towards you. And you have a feeling it's not just because you embarrassed him in court today. If you can clear up this misunderstanding, you might be able to convince him to help you. Yes. Oh, alright, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Alright, I'm just gonna have a problem. Come out and say it. Do you have a problem with me, Commander White? You should know exactly what my problem is with you. I saw who you work for. Do I have to spell it out for you? Or does your boss not tell you what she gets up to? Arguments are not always fought using hard evidence. Sometimes you need to elocute to convince your opponent that their claim is wrong. When prompted for an elocution, choose from one of three psychological possible responses. The correct response can be gleaned from reading your opponent's psychological profile. Deflect, defend, and rationalize. Regardless of what Miss Timora has done, I'm the one heading this case. Whatever problems you have with her, they have nothing to do with me. That still doesn't change the fact that you work for her. I've seen that woman do all kinds of shady shit in the cases I've worked. Forgery, bribery, blackmail, you name it. I'll bet you're just the same. A successor for the devil of defense attorneys. I'm not Ruby Timora. It doesn't matter if the rumors are true or not. Regardless of what you've seen her do, I'm going to run an honest case. Look, kid, I'd like nothing more than to believe you. But after everything I've seen her do, I know better. Anyone taught by that woman can't be anything more than a crook. Her way of teaching me was ruthless, I'll give you that. But the only thing that she taught me was how to practice law. Have you seen me engage in any crook-like behavior? You just want some info, right? Yes, that's all I'm asking for. Alright, I'll answer your questions. Just don't make me regret this. This probably goes without saying, but I don't believe that the sword is the murder weapon. Right, I guess you have to prove that someone else put the sword there. Did the Inquisition find anything suspicious on the scene? If you're asking if we found another bloody weapon lying around, we definitely didn't. It would be a little too convenient, wouldn't it? Well, let's say that the girl really is being framed. If there was another murder weapon, the killer probably walked out with it. Do you think they could have hidden it somewhere in the tavern? Doubt it. After the trial, Steelwind turned the place upside down and scanned it with her magic. If someone did hide a murder weapon here, they hid it well. Or they hid it in plain sight. I can't believe you made such an obvious mistake during your investigation. Oh, shut it with that. I already got an earful from Steelwind about that mess. Well, you don't have to worry about me mucking things up. Steelwind's basically taking over the entire investigation. Wait, does she have the authority to do that? Normally she wouldn't, but I know better than to go against orders from a noble. Right, there's definitely a strange power dynamic between them. But honestly, that girl sweats the details too much. Even let my men draw up a scaled map of the crime scene. Wait, really? Do you have a copy? Sure, knock yourself out. Don't know how much good it'll do you. I love that this is just 5-foot squares. Yes! Oh, that's charming. I heard that this was Prosecutor Steelwind's first trial. She must be pretty talented if that's true. A pain in my ass is what she is. A damn noble comes in here telling me how to do my job. I honestly have no idea what she's even doing in this line of work. I heard that she's from a renowned noble house. She must be a pretty powerful mage. Ha! Powerful's an understatement. The Steelwinds who came before her could turn this entire town into a glass crater. What? There's no way that's true. You think you found everything that you can here. Well, what does it all mean? There's no murder weapon to be found, but there's no obvious evidence of another person at the scene. Are you okay? You got quiet all of a sudden. Alright, just focus. Close your eyes and let everything else disappear from the world. Are you listening? So there's no clear evidence pointing to another killer. There is, however, evidence pointing to how Flynn had moved before his death. What? There's no blood trail leading to or from the body. What does this imply about the location of Flynnhart's death? Flynnhart died where he was attacked. He didn't move from his position at all. Oh yeah, I guess you're right. There's also the autopsy report, which says he died from a stab from behind. He was probably caught off guard and was too incapacitated to move anywhere else. This means that the attack happened at the exact position he fell over. There's also the shattered bottle of lotus juice. I doubt it means anything, but the shattered bottle is right next to the body. Flynnhart dropped the bottle when he was attacked. From that, we can infer that he was holding it the moment before he was attacked. Well, what's so strange about one ball, though? It may seem like an insignificant detail, but that detail could help me infer other elements of what happened during the murder. Right? There's also the fact that the artificery lights were out. Were these candles here when you arrived at the crime scene, Orin? No, we had the lights on so we could see the crime scene properly. Which I was weird too. The girl and her father must have had their argument in pitch black darkness. So, they didn't light any candles to make up for the broken lights. The crime scene had no lighting during the murder. The argument that Celeste had with Flintheart must have been spontaneous. They weren't planning to have a conversation in this room. In this darkness, Flintheart wouldn't have a lot of visibility. If he was stabbed from behind, he probably didn't see it coming. He was clearly surprised and probably in too much shock to run away. Also, the bottle may seem insignificant, but he was holding it when he was attacked. Maybe he was pouring a drink for himself, or maybe it was for a visitor. Either way, the assailant must have been unseen by Flintheart. Kid. Or the assailant attacked him from his blind spot while his back was turned. Why would his back be turned, though? Why was he distracted by something? Kid! What? What was that all about? Sorry, sometimes I get lost in my own thoughts. Yeah, well, cut it out. You're freaking me out. Right. Anyways, you think you found everything you can here? You should move somewhere else. Oh, Cuthbert, you're back already. Sorry, I guess I'm just a little lost about where to go next. Well, I suppose I can give you some guidance this time. Assistance. Sometimes it helps to speak with someone about the investigation. One character will almost always be able to assist you. You can speak with them about how the investigation or something to go next. Right now, Ruby Timora is assisting you, but who knows, maybe someone else might help you in the future. It's a painting of a knight. There's some text under it. Sir Diogo, former commander of the Arcane Inquisition. Well beloved by both the people and his fellow knights. After many years of service, Commander Diogo retired with honors. With this plaque, we thank and honor him for his dedication and commitment to the kingdom of Wyvengard. It's a painting of a knight. There's some text under it. General David Serrano, former chief of the Kingsguard. A beloved ally of House Steelwind who served during the Great Luminite War. The annals of history have countless tales of his courage, wit, and heroism. With this plaque, we thank and honor him for coming to the defense of our kingdom in our greatest time of need. There's a bench outside the courtroom. I used to sit here as a child when Miss Timora was defending her clients. This door leads to the courtroom. The fates of countless people have been decided beyond these doors. Got a lot of clues, but they didn't really tell me what happened. Even so, knowing the state of a crime scene is instrumental to cross-examining witnesses. Right, you'll probably want to make a habit of remembering what you've learned about the crime scene. Where should I go next? The Inquisition should be done questioning Celeste by now. You'll want to talk to her and find out why she was arguing with Flintheart. Don't waste my time, Cuthbert. Sorry. Present the badge. Don't waste my time. Okay, so no. If people keep seeing you here, they're going to start asking questions. Leave the investigation to me. All you have to do is stay quiet until the trial is over. While heading upstairs, we spot the prosecutor having a conversation with someone. They seem to be in some kind of argument.
Enough, I will do as I see fit. You may be Steelwind, but this is my land.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're the defense attorney from the trial.
I am. I'm sorry, but who?
Oh, how rude of me. My name is Lord Garrick Pierce, the ruling noble of this land. As the ruling noble, I suppose I should thank you for playing your role in the current trial, as misguided as it may be.
I suppose that you also think my client is guilty?
It does not matter what I think. This entire scandal hasn't done nothing but rile up the common folk. Magic is a gift for the nobility and the nobility alone. It is a symbol of the aristocracy and our divine right to rule. And now that bastard child has tainted that symbol in the public eye.
All of that has nothing to do with her. She's just an innocent woman who got wrapped up in all of this.
Even if she is innocent, the charges have been laid and made public. Someone must take the fall lest the public accuse the justice system of corruption.
So you're saying that she should be found guilty even if she's innocent?
What do you suppose will happen if she's acquitted? All the public will see is a mage going free despite a myriad of evidence. That alone would be enough to cause public outrage. Tensions between the aristocracy and the common folk are high enough as it is. What is one insignificant girl when compared to the stability of our great kingdom?
That's enough. Stop antagonizing him, Piers. I can't refute what he said, but I don't agree with it. What? The system should be based on truth and justice, not on public opinion. And why are you working against my client? Do you honestly think she's the kind of person that would kill her father? It doesn't matter what kind of person she appears to be. The evidence clearly points to her as the only possible killer. But you should fight according to your own ideals, just as I will fight for mine. So I had to get a read on that one. And at this point, I will stop the stream for today. Good night, everyone.